afternoon, welcome to today's vlog. Thursday now, the 5th of February. Hope you're all good. I'm going to carry on with what I was talking about yesterday, niche markets. Just before I go on to the two topics I was going to talk about, just a couple of comments from yesterday. I had a message from Dave of now Anvil Courier Collective. He will be talking about ADR on his vlog that comes out tomorrow afternoon. I think he's also involved, Neil from Neptune Couriers. So if ADR is of interest to you, I can guarantee that will be a good watch. That will give you all the information that you need if you don't currently do ADR. So normally out sometime mid to late afternoon tomorrow. So give Dave a watch. I had a message, I think it was Nick, apologies if I'm wrong, gave me a couple of topics that I didn't talk about. One was pet transport. Yes, pet transportation in a van is a niche market. I don't know too much about it. The little bit I do know, there is a guy on YouTube called Matt Ireland, as in the country. Matt used to be a truck driver for Trans Am Trucking, doing pop tours. I'm sorry, I'm going over this bumpy bit on the M25, I do apologise. Yeah, he started doing vlogs when he worked for Trans Am. He now does sugar beet and grain in East Anglia, but in between that he worked for a company called GoFetch, and he did pet transport all around Europe, and there's quite a few videos I think still up from his days doing that. So that might be of interest if pets is your thing. The other thing Nick mentioned was escort vehicles. Bane of our lives, travelling up and down, abnormal loads, heavy loads, wide loads, high loads, and they quite often need an escort vehicle. I always thought, to be honest, that they were just employees of the company that was doing the haulage, but having had a little look into it, I think you can be self-employed and offer your services. Rather interestingly, this morning I was just flicking through Facebook, and there's a post from one of the police areas, I can't think of the name, and they had pulled in one of these vans because it didn't have the correct paperwork or the correct insurance. So I don't know too much about that. If you do, what you could do to help everybody, do a short video and WhatsApp it over to Dave at Anvil Courier Collective, because he wants to sort of expand what he does with his vlog, and he will insert your little piece into his weekly output. So if you can help anybody with some information on that, that would be great. On to the two items I was going to talk about. One was events. Now events I can sort of subdivide again into music, theatre and exhibition stroke conferences. Music, well I say the good thing with events, because it's not a daily activity. What I mean by that is if you've got Fred Blogs Electricals and they send out vans every day, if you want to win that work, you're probably going to have to undercut a little bit to get it, and that will keep Fred Blogs Electricals happy because he's paying less. But with event work, because it's not daily, you're not really undercutting anybody, you're not really doing anything naughty. So how do you go about getting into the music industry? Well, one of my friends who now runs a very successful trucking company sort of almost started this way and stumbled into it. He provided some transport for a small band that played locally. They were youngsters, they didn't have, I think they had one car between them, and they needed to get from gig to gig, so he helped out. That band became a little bit more successful, had a little bit more money and started getting paid for doing gigs, and next thing they know they're doing a tour, small tour around the country, and that got bigger, and that's how he got started. And with events, it's very, very much word of mouth. If you do a good job, you will get recommended. That I know for certain, because when I was involved in a little bit of events back in the 80s, we did a good job on a certain tour and we got recommended to do other tours. And Yeah, so how do you get about that? Well, use social media. Look at Facebook, look at bands locally, and then contact them. Do you need any transport? All these bands, they need to move drum kits, guitars, keyboards, mic stands, amplifiers. You'll be surprised. And it's a way of getting into it. And because in the summer we have lots of festivals, and these bands get invited to festivals. We have our own one in Brightlingsea. Brightlingsea, we have a festival weekend. Some of it's local bands and some of it isn't. And yeah, it's a little niche market you could probably get yourself into. Don't think you're going to start doing Robbie Williams around Europe. That isn't going to happen. That's there for the big boys. KB Eventing, Stage Truck, Fly By Night, Trans Am. Yeah, you won't get into that, but you can start. And music and local bands is a way in. Theatres. Most of us have got theatres locally. Theatres need props. They need additional things for the performances they put on. Contact the theatre manager, put your name forward, tell him what van you've got, and again, on a job by job basis, they may need something moving. You may get an in, do a good job, they will ring you again. Another little niche market. And the last one is events and conferences. Obviously we've got the big event places like Excel in London, NEC in Birmingham, Harrogate Convention Centre. But there's conferences and exhibitions all over the place at football clubs and all sorts. Again, use social media, Facebook, LinkedIn. Find out who these companies are that are running these events. You can start off by passing your information to them. And also what you can do, if you've got a bit of free time, or you've got someone who has some free time, get some leaflets printed up, some flyers, get them to actually go to these conferences and exhibitions and hand your information at the stand. You never know where it might lead. A little sub thing of that is most areas now have these network meetings in the morning for businesses. They don't normally cost anything. They might cost a couple of quid, but that's normally just to cover the coffee and the tea. Go to one of those. You never know who you might meet, and again, that might give you an in with a local company. So that sort of events, I'm just touching on this quickly because I don't want to waffle on all night. International was the last one, European. It can be done. Vans do go every day from the ports abroad to take stuff and bring stuff back. How do you get into that? You will need an international operator's license. All that information can be found online if you just Google it at gov.uk, but you will also need a transport manager. Whether that's yourself or not, if you need to employ a transport manager, it may cost you some in the region of about £150 a month, and you'll need them to look after all the necessary paperwork. But European work is there. If you're on the CX, you probably don't click to make yourself available for European work. You can go on the laptop where it says UK, click European. It will give you a chance to have a look and see what work goes from your area abroad. Just as a guide, I looked into it probably a couple of years ago, and I asked somebody who did European for a quote. I said it for a customer of mine, slight lie, but I wanted to get a bit of information. And I think from Colchester to Paris was about £600. Paris back to Colchester was about £1,000. There's a differential because there's more imports than exports. A bit like January and November on the Courier Exchange. You're going to get less money for an export than you are for an import, purely because there's less work. But yeah, if you can look at the figures, you can make it work. Also on the CX, I still believe on the right hand side there's a list of subsidiary companies that work with CX. I think Motis are on there. Motis will sort out your ferry booking. They do ferry bookings all around the UK if you want to go to Ireland and the Isle of Wight and wherever, but they will do Dover, Calais and the Eurotunnel for you, so you can get a price roughly what it will cost to get your van at your size across the channel. Could be of interest. Yeah, just have a look at that. It's another niche market you might be able to offer yourself. A couple of big companies that do European. One is World Couriers down in Hythe in Kent. If you're up in the north of England, PT Williams, I think, are still based at Wrexham. They do a lot of European work. If you've got any contacts there or know of them, or if you want to do it and put yourself out for tender, give them a contact. Right, on to today. Second day, I've had no work this morning. It's mad because January, well, I expected to be some days without work. I had work every day, but February is turning out to be a bit blank. I'm quite fortunate today because my wife is working from home for 2 days, so I didn't need to get up early, gave myself a bit of extra time in bed, and I didn't leave home till 8 o'clock. Made my way to Costa in Colchester and sat there till about, I think it was about 9:15. I was starting to get slightly worried that there wasn't going to be any work, but I did finally get a job. And just before I did, the problem in the morning here is you can't really travel anywhere. Well, at night when I'm looking for the next day, I don't mind travelling sort of 30 miles anyway to go and pick a load up in the morning. But when you're looking in the morning, all those areas 30 miles away have got plenty of vans in situ. So you're actually never really going to get there before any vans that are local. So it really minimalises the area you can get work. So I'm really pretty much stuck with Colchester. But I did win a job from Ipswich, so I've contradicted myself a little bit. 30 minutes away. That was a job going to St Neots, large van. It was rolls of carpet. 73 miles. I quoted £80. Not brilliant, but I'm starting to think I need to get myself going. So I got that, I think it was about 9:15, something like that. Got on site 10:15, didn't take more than 10 minutes to load. I was away at 10:25, and I got to the delivery point about 10 to 12, and I was off at 12 o'clock in, did I say St Neots? I can't remember. Yes, St Neots. Got to stop. An old lorry driver who was in the army always told me, eat when you can, sleep when you can, and go to the toilet when you can. So I did I did 2 of the 3 anyway. I certainly didn't have a sleep, but sat and had my lunch, 12 o'clock, a bit earlier than I wanted, but there we go. Looking for work. I was hopeful there was going to be a bit of work, Bedford, maybe Cambridge, and I put a few prices on, but again, I was probably too far away. Quite a few jobs in Milton Keynes, Northampton, but I'm 45 minutes away. It was a job came out for 1:10, and that was about 12:30, and I was 40 minutes away, so it fitted nicely. And that was from Cambridge, on the science park there. I'm sure many of you have been there. Lots of little companies, and it was a small van job, 1 box, going 107 miles down to Ashford in Kent. Put a price on that of £100. It is a shipper I've worked with before, and they rang me pretty much straight away. So yeah, 40 minutes. I got there dead on 1:10, picked the box up, and if you know, you'll probably know where I am. I'm just going over the Dartford Bridge at the moment. It's 2:30, just gone in the afternoon. I'm going to be on site around about 3:30, which is actually the time they want it. Looking at the feed on the way down, there doesn't seem to be again an awful lot. What is coming out at the moment is pretty much 95% for tomorrow morning. So I don't think I'm going to get anything down in Ashford. It is a good area, and then coming back up towards Maidstone, Rochester, Sitting Bull. There's a chance I might pick something up later for delivery tomorrow, and wife is working from home again, so I do have a little bit of flexibility that I don't normally have. So if there is something to go up the north of England tomorrow, maybe, if it means an early start, I'll do that. But I think it's just going to be the 2 jobs for today. So that's £80 and £100. I've obviously got the Dartford Tunnel to pay twice out of that, but I don't really get too het up about that. It's just a small expense. So 180 for the day. Again, it's within target. I'm going to have a little bit of a trek to get home, but I'm not in any rush today to go and pick the wife up from the station when she comes back. So no drama for me. I'll just take a leisurely trip back. I hope you've been successful today. As I say, it does seem on the whole a little bit quieter this week than it was in January, but might just be me, and we know it's all luck of the day and luck of the game. Right, we'll go again tomorrow. I hope you're all well, and yeah, have a nice day, and we'll speak tomorrow. All the best. Cheers, Paul.